Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Happy, Healthy Human podcast. I'm Kara.
And I'm Lauren. So we're going to be covering in these podcasts the 5 factors of health. So we have movement, nutrition, connection. We have mindset, rest, and recovery. But Kara, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about managing nutrition and fitness around the holidays, and specifically Thanksgiving is right around the corner.
Thanksgiving, we've got Christmas coming up, and then we have New Year's. I guess those are our holidays. Valentine's Day, we can just do all the holidays.
It's the holiday season.
So I guess first, because we're doing this a little bit more on the fly, but what are some things, well, first of all, what are you drinking right now? This is important. We went to Starbucks earlier, so
yes,
it's good to know what we drink.
Today we're trying out the peppermint chocolate cold foam cold brew from Starbucks.
And then
feeling the Christmas vibe.
I know, and I've been into iced coffee with peppermint, 2.5 pumps to be specific, and cream.
We love it. Okay, we're being basic.
Now it's already November and we're already into Christmas. So
okay, wait. I have one question though.
I know you're gonna ask.
When do you decorate for the holidays?
I already decorated.
Okay, me too.
For Christmas.
But what day did you decorate on?
I decorated, what was it, like 5, during this weekend. So what would that have been, like November
Mid-November.
8th?
Okay,
November 8th or
November.
9th I did. But I'm a minimalist. I have like a little Christmas tree, a wreath, and like a pine candle.
That's perfect. You're in an apartment too, right?
Well, yeah, but I think I don't know. I don't have much stuff.
Yeah. As soon as Halloween is over, I'm like, goodbye, get this out of my house. And then I go Christmas tree. I think this year, November 2nd was Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So I like threw it up. Yeah. I don't have much either. Like, I feel like you have to build your collection over the years.
Oh,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I'm in the Christmas spirit now.
I am definitely. And we're not even at Thanksgiving. But that's what they've been doing in the stores. But we could go on to that anyways with marketing. Okay. So when it comes to nutrition and fitness, what are some things that you do when you're thinking of the holiday season, starting to prepare as an athlete, as a coach? What are some things that you start to think about?
Yeah, I think, I think that holidays can be a really challenging time to stay on track. I used to struggle with that like crazy because, it's a lot of going to be high calorie food. It's a lot of meals out, Friendsgivings, things like that. So I just tried to take everything very slow.
You have to.
And prepare my calendar of what is to come.
Yeah.
So I think like preparation is going to be the key around the holidays is making sure that you know what events you have going on. So I already basically know what my next 2 months look like for the most part. Mm-hmm. Things pop up. And then it just is going to come to preparing what kind of meals I want to have around those parties and the different events that are going on, which is you take it by week, right?
You have to.
Yeah. Is there anything that you do to prepare?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely am like you. I think we're both pretty type A. So we have our schedules and we look at our weekly schedules and all of that. But I think I start to already mentally prep of okay, I am going to eat more sugary foods or foods I want to. I'm not going to be super strict. But then, well, specifically me right now, I've been macro counting. And so I'm kind of okay, I'm going to leave room and margin for having more of these type of foods in my daily intake and just being okay with that. Oh yeah, I'm still hitting my goals, but I'm going to make room to be able to invite and having food. Cause I'm I'm making apple pie this Saturday for a Friendsgiving. I'm going to have my apple pie.
Yeah.
But I don't want to throw away everything that I'm doing at the same time. So I think I'm just okay, I'm planning ahead of what foods am I going to incorporate that are healthy, but then I'm also going to enjoy, what's going on. And so that's something I've been thinking about, but I'd be curious what you're thinking of when it comes to fitness. Do you have to change your schedule when it comes to working out or not really?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think that it depends what day the holiday falls on. Obviously, every year, Thanksgiving is going to be on a Thursday. So that weekend is really tricky because I know that I want to train during that time. And I just...
She says she wants, which is good.
I want to. I don't have to. Yeah.
That's the biggest key is you actually want to.
Yeah. But I want to because I know that it makes me feel good and energized for whatever I'm doing the rest of the day, especially on holidays. Because if I'm going to have family, I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year. So I know on Thursday I want to exercise because I want to feel really good. And I know that exercising makes me feel good. But the tricky part is that the gym is always closed on Black Friday.
So sad.
And yeah, so sad. But then we're open on Saturday. And I think the hard part is deciding okay, I had the Thanksgiving meal last night. Do I want to go to the gym Friday? I'm sorry, coach's access. I do get to go in on Friday if I want to.
But she's got a schedule. She's got to work out.
Yeah, and like I want to stay on track that week, but I will also give myself grace if I wake up on Friday morning and I am tired from hosting. I'm tired from maybe the like lower quality food that I ate the night before, that higher calorie meal.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling good, it's like I'm going to give myself grace. It is one day out of 30 days of the month that I am going to miss like that workout.
Yeah.
So I think that like giving yourself grace during the holidays is really important, but also drawing a boundary of how much grace you give yourself.
Yes. If you just throw out like a couple weeks, then you are going to have to restart in a lot of ways. Yeah. And so I think it's like having that small margin of, like you said, grace of taking days off, or, I mean, the priority is families, right? And resting and taking a break from work. But sometimes when taking a break from work, that means you actually can work out more or get to other goals more. And so I think it's like what you're doing with that free time is really important. So I think that's good. I love that you've already thought ahead, and that's like in 2.5 weeks.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I would like panic before holidays because I'd be like, okay, the day of, I can't eat anything because we're gonna have a big meal later. I need to make sure that I exercise well. And then you just end up being miserable and like binge eating at the Thanksgiving meal.
Yes.
Right? Or Christmas, whatever holiday it is coming up. But it's like once you give yourself the space of like, you still need to eat, you still can work out if you want to, like you try to keep your normal routine as much as possible and know that it might get a little messed up for a couple of days, but then it's just like, you just jump back on the train once that time comes back around.
No, that's true. It's like I give myself permission to eat what I need to eat, like to enjoy. But then I love working out. And so I'm doing a turkey trot with some friends, not a signed up one, but we're going to like do our own, save money.
Wait, so were you the family growing up that runs 5Ks on Thanksgiving?
No, my family they'll go on a walk after eating though.
Okay, there we go.
On a walk after eating. So that is a good way. You could get your family, go on a walk, get some movement.
Yeah.
They love it. They're like, let's just all walk. And it's hilarious because it's like 15 of us walking through a neighborhood. It's kind of cute.
So sweet. Yeah.
So that is a great way to get people moving. But I was going to say is like, I'm just going on a run with some friends, but I try to do things with people. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this or that. Or I'll schedule my fitness more like in the morning because I know that afternoons I'm going to be spending with family. So when specifically, like during the holidays, when I'm going home, I'll make sure that I'm like not cutting into family and friend time with my workouts, but I still get my workouts in.
Yeah. So like if you're traveling and going to see family and friends, like what time do you plan to work out? Are you like a 5 a.m. like you're getting up and going?
I'll do like 6 a.m. and I'll get a gym membership for like a week or two.
Oh, wow.
So I'm crazy girl. I'm going to have a gym to drop into. I have a plan. And I like to ask people that of like, oh, where are you going to work out? Because you can work at home. You can work at a hotel. You can work at a family's house. Like that doesn't prevent you from like still achieving your fitness goals, even if you're not able to go to this gym.
Yeah. I'm curious like your opinion on this because I sometimes see on like social media. I'm a big Instagram girly. Lauren is not an Instagram girl.
Facebook randomly,
Facebook
Luke
only.
told me. He's like, you and Facebook? I'm on like once a week and it's for millennials. Anyways.
I think that sometimes I see this like controversial like argument of you don't need to exercise during the holidays because it's all about family. It's all about
so sad.
Yeah, but then there's another
Yeah,
right. But then there's this other piece where like Lauren, like you go home and you literally get a gym membership to keep moving. And I think that as long as you have that like healthy boundary of and reason behind why you're exercising, it's not making it this like toxic thing that some people make it out to be.
No, and I'm not putting it on anybody else. So all my family, a lot of my family loves to move, but I'm really careful of my wording around working out and food with friends and family because a lot of them have different health goals than mine or none at all.
Yeah.
And they know how I'm going to be in eating or they know how I'm going to get in working out, but I'm never putting that on them. I'm like, you eat your extra cookie, you eat all that food, like you enjoy that time or you rest. But for me, I'm like, oh, this lowers my anxiety. If I'm working out almost every day, like this helps me feel really good about myself and I feel really present with my family if I'm doing this. And so I'm like, well, this is like how I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah, I love that. It's like you remove the stress of your normal routine because you already did it. Like you just kept your routine going even throughout the time. But I think that's cool to just like, this is important to me and I'm going to keep doing it because I know how it makes me feel at the end of the day.
Yeah. What would you tell to like members or clients who are like, what would be some tips that you would give them as they're preparing for the holidays? Because I think people are kind of like yourself maybe got nervous of like, I don't even know what to do, or like you could get a little nervous going into holidays, especially if you're in a positive track of health and fitness and nutrition. So what are some things you'd share?
Yeah, I can honestly speak from like, I'm already in the conversation with most of my clients right now about how to manage the holidays, because it's like coming up so fast and people are already getting gifts with foods that are not supportive to their journey.
Totally.
And we're managing like what these Friendsgivings look like and things like that. So I think the number one thing is like plan out your week and know what you're going to be doing during that week.
I think I have 3 Friendsgivings this week. And so I'm already thinking about
Oh my gosh.
that.
Yeah. So I tell them like, choose if the goal, which I've talked about this before, but if your goal is to stay 80% compliance to our plan, then, and you have 5 events going on, you can choose 3 of them that you're gonna eat the lower quality food that maybe doesn't make you feel so good or doesn't align with your fitness goals. But I need you at the other 2 to try to stay on track as much as possible. So if you know that one of them is gonna be like a turkey dinner, okay, can we just focus on like quality protein and vegetables at that one? And then the next day when you have another one, maybe it's a potluck, then you can do like the fried chicken, the cookies, that kind of thing. So it's really planning out like what food is going to be where, if you know, and making sure that you're sticking to that 80% compliancy. Also surrounding those meals is like making sure that you're just eating like normal. Just because you have a party that night doesn't mean that we're going to blow the rest of the day and eat out, you know, eat a breakfast burrito for breakfast and then eat Chick-fil-A for lunch. Like, no, we want to stay on track as much as possible leading up to that event so that you feel really good and satiated going into it. And then you can allow yourself to make better decisions than you may have made if you just like starved yourself all day before that or ate lower quality food.
I was going to say that's the biggest thing is like almost getting protein at every meal. So you're not going into those meals starved, because I think people think, oh, I'm just not going to eat all day and then I'll just eat at that meal. And you'll end up just binging. Like you'll end up overeating maybe what you would if you were just trying to maintain, having little, meals throughout the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like focusing on eating lean protein, especially for like, I think of like Thanksgiving morning. I know, like, I'm going to call my cousins out. They probably don't watch this. They used to be like, we haven't eaten all day. Now we're ready to go. And I'm like, oh, had you eaten like some eggs or some sort of lean protein for breakfast,
your
and then
body
you actually had,
calm.
you ate a smaller lunch. Doesn't have to be smaller, but maybe you eat a smaller lunch with like really good lean protein and vegetables. You'd actually feel really good going into this meal and not have to just like eat everything in sight.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a common misconception that I see a lot from people is like, oh, I'm just not going to eat. But eating can actually make a huge difference in control.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, with people who they're like the gym will be closed, I think Thanksgiving day after. Yes. And then it's closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Yes. So there's going to be some days that the gym is closed. And so I think like using those as either like active recovery days or recovery days, but then making sure like, okay, how do you get your gym sessions in? Or use those days to like be outside, like go on a hike with family or go on a run, or you can do your own HIIT workouts at home. I mean, there's so many to look at, or yoga, I don't know. So there's just different ways that even if you don't have access to a gym while you're traveling, I'm like, there's just a ton of stuff you can find.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like get creative, get your distant relatives that you haven't seen in a while, get your hometown friends, like go play pickleball, go for a run, anything just to get a little bit of like community and movement in can be so liberating during the holiday season.
Yeah, I once did like an all body HIIT workout with my family. It was the funniest thing. It was like 7 of us. I was guiding them because they're like, you're a coach, you should do this. But there's just so many fun ways you can just get your family moving. Yeah, really, and it's hilarious. So you can have a good time with that. Any other tips? I always am telling people to stay hydrated because you might be drinking more or, totally. But just like hydration in general. So basically like, I think, I was going to say people are drinking a lot during their holiday season. And so make sure that like you're hydrating or getting good sleep. Like those are really important things. I'm like, make sure you're sleeping well and then getting in that good nutrition and recovery. But also I was thinking of how if you set like even like mini goals during the holiday season, I think that's like really important is like, as Bessie said, 80% compliance, like staying on track to the best of your ability is going to help you because I get bummed when people are like, oh, I'm just going to wait till the new year. Like, let's just throw out the next 2 months.
Yes.
And like wait till the new year. And I'm like, no, like there's never a time to like wait. Like today is like you taking care of your health.
Yes.
And so we're setting up like mini goals right now to then be able to, you don't have to backtrack, you know, or catch up when it comes to January.
Yes. This is a PSA to everyone out there that January 1st is no different than today.
Yep.
There's literally no difference. Like, it's just another day. So like from now until then, like you have how many days until the new year? Like a month and a half. So like probably like 45 days. Like anything you start today could be a habit by the 1st.
Exactly.
So you don't have to start then. It's like if you I love that. Like setting micro goals now until the 1st, like challenge yourself. Think of something that you want to accomplish and see if you can do it in a busier, more stressful time of life. If you can do it in the crazy time, imagine what you're doing when life gets a little less stressful come the new year.
Yeah. And I think the more you can get, we've talked about this a lot, but friends and family involved in your nutrition goals and your health goals. And that's something I think that's going to help everyone around you. You know, we have like Bring a Friend Day once a month usually. And it's like, just bring one of your friends to the gym during the holiday season, or get your family involved in fitness, or talk to your family about nutrition, like having those open, honest conversations of even like where your goals are at, even if you don't want to impose it. But some of our members, it's like invite your whole family into having new nutrition goals or having new fitness goals during the holiday season.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is going a little off topic, but I'm curious if you have any thoughts on this, but I know that around holiday time, sometimes it's a hard time for some people.
Oh yeah.
Anyone that has like maybe some like problems that have come up in the past with family around holidays, or maybe you don't even have a family to spend the time with. Like, do you have any tips or any experiences yourself that you could share, maybe how to cope during this time? Knowing that most of us have goals and things we're working towards, but this time can be really hard for some people.
It can be really hard. So it's like, I have friends that have had deaths of family like around the holiday season. So it's like a very triggering season, I call it, you know, where it's like, this is going to be hard for you, or it's going to bring up like negative emotions. And so I think for me, I'm like, okay, give yourself as much like self-compassion of just being kind of like, this is going to be a harder season. I'm a very like straight shooter of like, this is just gonna be hard. Okay. It's like, it's going to suck. Like, what am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
Because we only can advocate for ourselves fully. Like every day I'm choosing to wake up and choosing to make these certain goals. And there's days where I fail at my goals. So I think like having that self-compassion, like there's days you're going to suck at getting to like taking care of your health or whatever, but then try again the next day. And I think those like small steps are so important. And I think inviting like healthy, positive people in your life and talking to someone of like, this is going to be really hard for me. Can you hold me accountable?
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to pay someone to do that. Like you can literally talk to like a good friend or a family member that you trust to help invite them into that.
Yeah.
But I think if you're not talking about it, then I don't know. No one's made to do this holiday season alone, especially like you said, if it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to your coach.
Yeah, we'll help you.
We want to hear about what's going on and help you
we'll
through
text
this.
you.
So, yeah.
We'll text you for sure.
Yeah, I really like that. It's like facing it head on is really all that you can do. And then just like find that support system that makes you feel just like more loved during this time when it can be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren, what is one major takeaway either you're taking away from our conversation or just moving forward with the holiday season?
Okay. So I think for the holiday season, the biggest thing is like, it's never too late to like go after your health goals. And so I'm like, go after them now. Like, don't wait till January 1st, like we were talking about. But then I would say like, find ways to plan out your schedule and meditate or pre-plan like how you're going to eat, how you're going to work out that next week. Cause like, I'll literally sit down, look at my schedule on a Sunday. Sunday's my time to think through the whole week. I will go on Google Calendar and literally say, okay, I'm going to work out this day, I'm going to eat this. That's crazy for some people. I know that, but you can also just do general lists of like, this is what I hope for this week, or this is what I hope for, eating this week. You could write on a notepad even, or like notes section in your phone, but some way of having a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, then you're going to go crazy. You're going to do whatever you want and you're not going to get to your goals. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I think that we say it over and over again, but I really think that like pre-planning can make all the difference. It's like the typical saying, like failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Is that the saying, or did I make that up?
I don't know. But go with it.
Something like that. But I really think that like you are almost setting yourself up for failure when you don't plan things out. So know what's coming up for you, and know that a couple days of eating, or I'm sorry, not a couple days, a couple events of eating food that's not aligned with your fitness journey is okay. It's all about how you recover from it at the next meal.
And enjoy it. Like, enjoy time with family and like good food. Like, I'm stoked. I'm ready for some good food.
Yeah,
enjoy it.
We should have worn like Santa Claus hats today.
Well, we had our peppermint like
I feel
coffee,
like we messed out. Yeah,
mochas. So
get yourself a Christmas
close.
coffee today.
But we had to wear our all black as per usual of CrossFit reason. We always are all wearing black. It's a vibe.
All right, guys. Well, Lauren, you want to tell them what we're talking about next week?
Yes. So we're gonna actually be talking about. We're gonna go to part 2 of recovery. So.
Slight intermission. Yes. Part 2 of recovery, where we are going to talk about
sleep,
mobility,
rest days. Yes. So we're going to be talking about those, and it's a part 2 of another one we talked about, but we feel like it's very important that people know, how are we recovering? How are we taking care of our bodies so that we can be so fit and so ready to go?
Hey, happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Stay happy, stay healthy.
Bye.